Welcome back everyone, and in this final video on factoring, before we apply our factoring skills, we're going to introduce two more methods of factoring polynomials, but we're actually going to focus our energies on factoring trinomials. So trinomials means it's three terms, tri, the prefix meaning three. So we're going to look at polynomials that have a general form of ax squared plus bx plus c, or something like that, right? A, B, and C can be expressions that contain variables themselves, but nevertheless, the strategies that we're going to use, the first one is kind of a general catch-all strategy called the AC method. Some people may have learned this previously as a diamond or cross method. And so the overall idea is once we have our trinomial, we're going to calculate the product A times C. And I think it's been a hot minute since I've done the diamond method, but the diamond method, you do this more visually. So you would do the product A times C here, and then you would do B here, and then you try and figure out, what P and Q are that meet those things. I tend to just do this more in the steps that are outlined here. So here what I would do is, okay, for the first one, right, I recognize that A is right here, so A is 1, and then B here is 2. Oh, that's an unfortunate choice. That probably should have been X's. And then C is this minus 21. So if I do A times C, right, that is 1 times negative 21. I keep the signs with it, and so that is negative 21. And this is equal to two numbers, P times Q. I don't know what those are, but I also know, so that's kind of one equation I have to work with. The second equation I have to work with is knowing that B, which is negative 4, is the same as P plus Q. And so now this is where I kind of have to scratch my head and think, what are these things? And this is where this cross method might help. So we know, this is minus 21, this is positive to negative 4. And so I'm thinking of two numbers that add to negative 4, but multiply to minus 21. And I think those might be negative 7 and positive 3. So if I multiply those, I get to negative 21. If I add those, I get to minus 4. And so what I do, so I've kind of done 1 and 2, now on to step 3. Okay, on to step 3, I would take, b squared minus 4b minus 21 and write that as b squared. And then it says plus p, so that'd be plus a negative 7b, and then plus q, so plus 3b, and then plus c, so minus 21. Okay. And so then it says factor by grouping. We know how to do that. That was introduced to us before. So b, pull that out of those two, and I get b minus 7. And then here I pull out a 3 from these two, and I get b minus 7. Oh, look. Hey, it factors. And so it would be b minus 7 out in front, b plus 3 as what's left over. Okay, and that would be my final factored form using the AC method. Okay. All right, so let's try it with this with this other example here. So again, if you want to do a cross, you sure can. And here we'd have to multiply to, let's see, that'd be 2 times 3, so that'd be 6, add to 5, right? And I think this would be a 2 and a 3, right? 2 and 3 multiply to 6, add to 5. And so then I could write this as 2a squared, split the 5 as plus 2a plus 3a, and then plus 3. Factor by grouping, I can pull out a 2a, and then I have a plus 1, and then plus, and then these second two terms, I'd have 3a plus 1, which would factor overall as a plus 1, and then 2a plus 3. All right. So that's, again, AC method, diamond method, that works with general trinomials. And now the other and last strategy is guess and check. Sometimes, AC method, you're like, I just don't understand it. And that's fine. You can always do this guess and check method where, you recognize that a trinomial, if it does factor, is going to look like, two sets of parentheses for each of these. Oh, and I see okay, so that didn't get into the exponent, but we're going to treat it like that. Okay. Um, so then, if you want to guess and check, right, I have some overall rules, but like the main idea is that 8x squared, right, that needs to uh, be, you know, the two things that happen first in each of in the parentheses in both of the factors need to multiply to 8x. So I might try, I don't know, 2x and 4x. That's going to be my first guess. And then the other thing is that at the end, the minus or the plus 3 that I'm experiencing, that comes from these last two terms, right? So I'm thinking 3 and 1. And then in terms of the sign, right, this is what these bullets mean. But if the last sign is positive, right, if the last sign is positive, so I'm kind of in these two cases, and the B sign is negative, then they're both going to be negative. Okay. Now, this strategy is called guess and check because you literally need to guess and then check. So now if I undo the factoring via distribution, right? So I'd have, distribute the 2x, I'd have 8x squared minus 6x minus 4x and then plus 3. That doesn't work, right? So then, okay, I'm going to just try switching the 3 and the 1, see if that works. Okay, so I still get the 8x squared, and then now I get minus 2x minus 12x plus 3, and that gives me 8x squared minus 14x plus 3. Okay, so that ends up working. Okay. And so sometimes you just have to guess and check. And so now I want you to pause the video, try guessing and checking with this one, and then you can resume when you're ready to see the solution. All right, and here's the answer. So you didn't see what happened off video, but it took me a moment to figure out, what goes in these blanks. I kind of knew that the 10y squared had to be 5y and 2y, but for the 18x squared, I tried 2x and 9x. I tried 1 and 18, right? So, and you have to try different ways to arrange them. So it could take you a little bit to figure it out. Also, the other thing I wanted to point out is the signs, right? Here I have the sign on C is minus, right? So then that told me that there's one minus and one plus sign in the factored form. So I knew that had to be a part of the factoring here as well, okay? But guess and check might take you a little bit, and that is perfectly all right. But also know that it is guess and check, not just guess, right? So make sure if you do guess and check, to do the foiling to see that you get what you intended. All right, so we now have all of our factoring strategies that we're going to learn in this course, and now we're going to put them to use in the next video as we solve equations.